Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. Dad jeans. Dad jeans.
You know what it is? It's this thing. If we're both hearing it, it's that.
Oh, okay.
Let's retry this.
Okay, so we'll do this. A little of that. Plug this into there. You put the male into the female, Jeffrey. It's very,
Peony into the...
Gender is a... we were talking about this in class today. Gender is a construct.
An evil construct.
It's an evil construct.
Yep.
And soon, you won't know what a person's gender is for years into knowing them as friends.
Nor need you.
I think our 2 female to 1 male has been compromised.
Do you think that's a reality? It feels less scratchy right now. Am I wrong?
It feels wonderful, and you sound great.
Oh, thank you. You do too.
Thanks.
Brendan, it's dad jeans.
Oh, yes, it is.
Let's jump in.
Let's jump in to the deep end of being dads.
This is something that we don't do anymore.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To you.
We're drinking on air.
We used to do this back when it was considered kosher to drink on the radio.
This was all we did. We drink our Manischewitz.
Mm-hmm.
It was very kosher back then.
It was. We kept extremely kosher.
Yeah.
And we never...
Eat our gefilte fish.
Right, the gefilte are
snack
biting.
on gefilte in between segments.
And chew bitter herbs.
Yep, some bitter herbs.
I've been to my share of seders,
radish.
Jeff.
You know your way around a seder?
I know my way around a seder. I know to congratulate the youngest boy who just did the reading.
Yeah.
On his good reading.
Yeah.
Great
That's
reading,
smart.
Justin.
That's great. I love that. We haven't been to one in a while. I don't think since our kids have been able to read. Well, Eli's still working on it, but
reading.
Yeah, Hazel is Hazel's whipping through her.
Let me tell you something
books
about Hazel.
like you wouldn't believe.
I came up to the window
Yeah.
where you can see into your house.
Yep, the drive-through window
The
of our house.
window of your house.
Yeah.
And I looked in and I was like,
Full of grace, full of grace. Do you remember that?
No.
Sorry.
Was it?
Pecker? Go
oh.
ahead.
I never saw it.
Oh, so good.
So I looked in the window and I was like, oh, there's Sarah in the distance reading on the couch, and they must have some sort of house guest who's sitting closer to me facing away. No, it wasn't Sarah. It was Hazel.
Yes, she's giant. You haven't seen her in a long
No,
time,
she's a grown woman.
Come on, Brendan. I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Oh, I said to her, like,
I don't need that
being
kind of
grown.
speculation. No, she's of age, dude. God damn it, Brendan. Fuck
Did I
out
say
of
the
here.
loud and quiet? It's shocking the distance between who she
Does
is
she
and who
look like
looks.
Sarah to you?
Yeah, I thought she was Sarah sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
Well, in the distance of the
She's
eyeballs.
like curled up in her robe and
Reading.
slippers.
Yeah, enjoying a novel.
yeah, the birds chirping on her shoulder, Snow White style,
As they're known to do.
looking over her angelic presence.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Yeah, exactly
that's
right.
my daughter.
And then you also have a son, I'm told. Who must
There
be
have been rumors.
5 or 6.
There have been rumors.
Jesus, man.
He is 5. Will be 6 shortly after my 45th birthday, which is coming up.
Fudge and A. I'm
excited
very
about
excited.
this.
Thank you for inviting me. Because here's the thing: in the
Yes.
parenting world,
Very
whether
close to
or
not
not you
inviting
get invited
Yes,
to birthday parties
is the thing.
is the only drama left in your life.
It's true. That's probably true. Is this a segment? Do we just leap right into this?
The only drama left in
The
your
only
life.
drama left in your life. When you're a parent, there's only one drama left. Will I go to the birthday party? I guess that's it. If there's only one drama
But
left,
will I get invited?
it's kind of hard to make
Yeah.
that a...
But I mean, like, you know how
segment.
you can't invite everyone in class to school, and then you say, or to everyone in class to the party, and then so
Yes.
some parents say to their kids, okay, we can only invite little Jackie and little Mahershala and little McGillicuddy, and we can't invite any of the rest of them. So just slip these invitations just to them. We're going to also talk to their parents.
Yeah.
Don't let any of the other kids know it's your birthday or that you're having a party.
Yeah, don't tell anyone. Don't take any pictures.
Yeah. And you know the kids go into the class and they're like, Mahershala, will you go to my birthday? No one else can come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Joey,
then,
you're not welcome.
yeah, and then Joey goes home and he's like, is it because I'm on the spectrum? And his parents are like, we haven't officially told you that yet, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean?
Kids talk.
Kids talk.
They know. They know who's on the spectrum. Kid who shows up with a weighted blanket to school.
Right? I have to wear an actual suit of armor or I can't finish my homework. I can only say this because that was me.
Terrible. It's terrible. Have you tried one of those weighted blankets?
I've seen them in CVS.
You
I'm
haven't?
very interested. Emily is such a delicate flower only in bed. Otherwise, she's a tank.
A tank. She can stand anything.
She can withstand
but
literally
when she's
anything.
in bed, she needs like the
softest everything has to be perfect.
cotton fluff.
And she's like, it's too hot. I kick the blankets off. Oh, it's too, she's like, she saves all the delicate florality for the bed.
Florality. What a wonderful word.
I know. I think it's not a real word, but I went with
enough of one.
Enough of one.
Yeah, it's close enough. I got what you were getting at.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're drinking tonight because I'm not going to say why.
Most of it's as you were saying, most of it's classified.
Most of it is classified, but we may have some good news to announce soon to our listeners.
And some bad news on my side.
Really?
No, I don't know.
Oh, well, because you're waiting to hear about a thing.
Right. And
we both have things that we're waiting to hear about.
We both have things that we're waiting to hear about. Our lives could take a serious turn.
That's true. It could be one of those situations where we establish a new pattern in which one of us is up and the other is down.
Right.
And then we get locked into this eternal struggle.
Right. Where there can be only one up.
Where there can be only one up.
Have we become two sides of a coin?
It may be so. We're going to find out soon, aren't we?
Would you argue, I'm reading between the lines here, that you're the one who's been down lately? Are you saying it's my turn to now be down? Are you saying I've had it really good for a while and it's time to get in the basement while you get in the attic? You can say it.
That's a good question. No, I think we've both had it average for quite some time.
I know.
I don't think either of us has been the king of the world for a while.
You just don't want to anger the gods. You know what I mean? Life was very difficult because I never got to know my son while I worked at Fox for 3 years, and my commute was fucking hideous.
That's where I am,
punched out of Century City, or what's that place called? Culver City.
Some one of those.
I was like, I'm done going to Culver City every day. And then you started going to Culver City every day.
And I was like, that whole time, I was like, my God, if you could go back and just slap me in the face. That whole time I was like, Brendan, why are you doing? Why don't you just have the quality of life is the most important thing? Why would you ever do that?
That is uncanny because I
That's
remember
what
that
sounded
moment.
like. Do you remember exactly 3 years ago? That was my voice.
That was your voice.
Why are we Brendan? What are we doing here?
Remember when I used to be this weird New York?
I really want you to check out my run-through of Torch Song Trilogy. Let me tell you something, bucko. I don't know. You know, I've met Matthew Broderick.
Didn't he co-star with you in that?
I just like to put on a dress sometimes. What's wrong with that?
I don't know, but I couldn't fathom it, and I think I was probably not. I'm not going to say that I was unsympathetic, but it seemed to me like it's just a job, man. Like,
I should nut up.
Do another thing. Yeah, exactly. But now I've been in the same cycle and
fucking blows.
I'm like,
it?
wow, this is really fucking difficult.
You've had it worse than me though, because I was taking.
Thank God you're acknowledging that.
No, you've had it a lot worse.
Yeah.
Because advertising is horseshit because you have to stay until things are done. I had a union job, and literally at 4:59 and 59 seconds, I was 2 feet on the ground walking out the door every day. Yeah. Like, I didn't care. Like, I was in the middle of an email, 5 o'clock struck, and I was walking.
You know what? Can we actually segue? I'm going to do something. I'm going to propose something crazy.
Okay.
Because that's an excellent segue into my Spite Club.
Oh, I see.
Can we start with Spite this week?
For the first time in our 100+ episode history.
Listen, we're
Spite Club
drinking
is our
again, bro.
Penultimate segment.
I know. Does that feel bad?
No.
We don't have to.
Oh, we can spite it up.
Really?
Although I don't remember what mine was.
Oh,
although then again, if we talked for an hour, I still wouldn't remember what mine was. So we might as well do it now.
This is. I'm going to suggest something to you.
Oh, what
paper. It's this device that you write down things on, and then you have them
Jeff,
for later.
Jeff, I've had sex with
that
so
might
many
be my
trees.
fatherly advice.
I'm not allowed to use paper.
Oh, is that true? You have a restraining order. The trees have a restraining order against you.
Came together, and they were like, "We're going to release an order that makes everyone kill themselves if Brendan writes on something again."
Yeah, what are we doing here? Wait, what's no?
Just let me think.
Just let me think. The trees. What are the trees doing?
And then cut to weird dude with a beard who's like, hot dogs. They're cylindrical and meat.
Wait, was that M?
Huh?
Was that M?
No, it wasn't even him. It was like...
Was it an M doppelganger?
It was
I didn't
some
see
complete other guy. Oh, it is the worst piece of garbage.
I've got to watch it.
We're
talking, of course, about the trees.
The crappening.
The kills. Yeah, the trees kill. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
It was called the happening.
Tree farts make suicides happen, or something, whatever it is.
Yeah. I never saw. We should really do a whole M. Night retrospective.
We should do an M. Night festival.
Yeah,
the Dad Jeans M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong Festival.
Kind of might be awesome
because he is, and I don't know what to ascribe. He made one good movie, and then
it was a fantastic. I mean, I haven't seen it since it came out. Maybe I'm wrong.
It might be terrible
it doesn't
now.
Hold
yeah.
up, but
once you know the
I was on board. I mean,
when I saw that, I was like, what?
Yeah. I mean, it was like Get Out impact style impact, where you're just like, oh, this is the best filmmaker in America now.
Right. We have turned a corner. Right. This is a cultural event.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, yeah, hold my beer. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then he just made one piece of horrendous garbage after another.
He made the Unbreakable, which people quite like.
It
seemed dour to me.
It was a very quick nosedive.
It did, yeah.
And then you have to ask yourself, did Bruce Willis save that movie?
Did Bruce Willis save Unbreakable?
No, the one before it. The one that was good.
The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, are you like, what? So what worked that no longer worked? Was it Toni Collette?
Haley Joel Osment. Come on. Are you kidding me?
Of course.
That kid
who's
was
now the mayor of City of Industry, I think, or something like that.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I hope so.
He's put on some pounds.
Yeah,
last time I saw him,
he's very adorable now. He's just stayed adorable.
He's big. He's now he's like adorable in like a big boy kind of way.
Yeah,
he's like, oh, you're
I'm gonna stay. Yeah, he sort of stays childlike.
Haley Joel's your big boy.
Who's
your big boy?
That was it. I did the same. I had the same strategy. I hit adulthood, and I was like, oh, I'm not ready for this. I'm gonna stay in a childlike body.
Chunk up.
I'm gonna chunk up.
You didn't do that. Well, then you shed it, and you've been like even keel for like longer than you were ever not even keel.
I occasionally see a photograph of myself back then, and I'm like, oh my God.
I hope to see a photograph of myself the same way someday.
You look great, Jeffrey.
Thanks, baby. Okay, so we're not going into Spike Club.
Oh,
so
no, we could. No, we totally could. Before we do, let me say one thing.
Do.
I saw a terrifying beast outside of your house as I was walking in.
With razor-sharp claws?
A coyote or a jackanapes or something like that.
Jackanapes.
It was it was dog-like.
Right.
Except it was the size of my car. It wasn't the size of my car.
It could be one of those dingo yotes.
It was a dango. It was a dango.
A dango.
It was a dingo.
A dango unchained.
There was a dango. Yeah.
Have you seen
Dango
by the
Everly Brothers.
Yeah. Exactly. From Ghost. Yeah. Fantastic.
All right. I never quite could understand what the connection between Ghost and slavery was.
I didn't understand why they had Jamie Foxx sing it. That seemed like a weird choice. No one even knew. I don't even think In Living Color was around at that point.
No. It was very prescient.
Very prescient.
Prescient.
They knew. Yeah.
All right. Fucking Spike. Oh, I remember my Spike Club. Yes, let's do Spike Club. You ready? On your mark, get set. Spike Club.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Spike Club. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Spike Club. Fuck.
Did you play the theme song before you said Spike Club?
I mean, I did, but I will actually edit it in a different way.
Right, because you do that, right?
I mean, it doesn't happen on the day.
Okay, well,
I think our listeners should probably know that I edit in the theme songs later.
Well, so who goes first? Because I had the segue, but you just remembered, and you're going to forget it.
It's in the parking lot.
So, you got it?
Yep.
Okay. My segue.
Yes.
No, not my segue. My Spike Club for this week.
The guy who invented the Segway died when his Segway went off a cliff.
Untrue.
Come on!
Myth.
Damn it.
Dean Kamen. I believe he's still alive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's too bad. Okay, proceed.
Side note. Everyone came out. The Segway came out.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, look at that fucking dumb looking thing. Mm-hmm. Now we're all riding around on scooters.
Oh,
like a bunch of jackasses. Segway would look so much cooler than one of those scooters.
Would it?
You got to wear a little beanie on one of those things? Is that what it is? They give you a beanie? You put your credit card in and it spits out a beanie with a propeller on it that you got to...
His problem was he didn't make the Segway Goofy Foot.
That's what people were riding it the wrong.
Yeah, you're facing forward. Like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Yeah.
But if you were turned sideways and rolling forward, then you would look cool.
Yeah, that's possible.
That's the problem. If the Segway came with a cigarette, like as there's an ashtray on the handlebar, and so you could be smoking while you were segwaying, then it'd be fine.
Okay.
And you're like, look, you guys, I'm smoking a cigarette. I can't walk and smoke.
Sure.
I have to roll and smoke. And look, there's an ashtray.
So it probably goes in order of coolness. Mm-hmm. What do we put at the top of the motorized vehicles?
The electric, like non-combustion, personal conveyance, like we're talking about.
Yeah, like so do we think the hoverboard or whatever, that thing?
Oh, with the one tire in the middle.
There's the one tire.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool. It's $1,500 though,
It looks really
and it has
like
a
slapped together
brake
to
light.
me.
I know.
I'm like, this is a product that someone made. It looks like you assembled it in your garage.
Well, that's part of its
That's part of its
mystique.
charm. I don't know, man. It just looks like why do you need to put danger into this?
I know.
This thing.
But yet that I would say that is of the things we're discussing the
Coolest looking one.
Yeah, it's not. I mean,
anything with a single tire is automatically a unicycle, and there's
Yeah.
nothing cool about a unicycle.
Fair point. And what about the ones that the people have where it's the wheel in the middle, but again you're facing forward?
Yeah.
And it's the people who clearly work in .com startups who are like, excuse me, and then
Right. That's the hoverboard, I think.
Oh,
or no, but it
that's
has two wheels.
No, I'm thinking of one that has one wheel, but you face forward, and the wheel is between your ankles. But you're not like goofy.
Oh, but it's a big wheel. It's
Yeah.
like a bike tire.
Maybe it's like that. It's like a pizza.
Okay.
And it's a big thick thing of plastic, and you fold down the feet things, and people carry it like a briefcase on the subway. And I have to admit, they look. I don't know. I see them, and I'm like,
Pretty cool.
yeah, cool. That was what I was about to say.
I don't know, but I'm gonna say that I'm gonna rank the Segway higher than the scooter.
I see.
The scooter is just
Like the Lime scooter.
yeah, like the Segway. It looks like a substantial thing. Like I never in my life was I like. I mean, I guess it's like because like mall cops use them. Like that's why they became silly. But I feel like when I saw them, I was just like, yeah, that's a thing. But like I was never like, look at that fucking idiot device.
But
who would
didn't you-
ever stand on such a thing?
When it came out, I remember muttering to myself, "Winning the war on exercise,
Well,
one contraption at a time."
okay, fair, but listen. The point of this thing, the creation of this device, was to get cars off the road. So come on.
Yeah. Oh, so a mall cop cruiser isn't just slowly cruising by the fountain, between the fountain and the Chess King.
It was meant to be, it was meant to be a device between a car and walking so that you could get around cities faster.
Uh-huh.
That's why it was invented, which
I see.
is exactly what scooters are being
And
used
like
for
airports
today.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So
Fair.
like, why not?
But there are bicycles.
Yeah, well, I mean, sure, okay, that's fine, but then get rid of all of them. Then you don't need the thing with the one tire. Then that's just as stupid as a Segway.
Oh,
I'm just
definitely
saying,
true.
all things being equal,
Yeah.
there's nothing there's nothing dumber to me about a Segway than a fucking thing with one tire on it.
I'll tell you what's dumber.
Okay.
A person who has a big flat screen TV,
Okay.
desktop computer,
Yeah.
iPad,
Yeah.
iPhone, and an iWatch.
Okay. But with on some sort of like mobile device, like they would be riding in a
Oh
contraption.
no, I'm just
that-
saying anyone who owns all those.
You
all
pimp
those
their
screens.
Segway, and it
Like-
has all those screens on it.
See, that would be pretty
that
cool.
what happened?
The flat screen is a little cumbersome, but sometimes you need the cinematic experience
Pimp my
on the
Segway.
go.
That's amazing. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Like iWatch or iPad.
iWatch or iPad. You got to choose between one of those.
You got to choose
devices.
between if you're going to have an iPad or a laptop.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to have laptop, iPad, iPhone, iWatch, desktop, and flat screen,
Yeah.
we'll never hear from you again.
You think there are too many devices in this equation?
There's too many screens. You're
That's
just like,
that-
and you can arrange them in a circle around you, and then push your genitals into your eye sockets, and literally be gone from the universe.
I'm going to say that's probably a quarter of the American population
Jesus,
has every one of those things.
titty,
You know what I'm missing?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm missing the end of your lovely soliloquy here. I'm missing the watch. We have all the other things,
So you're fine.
but
Don't get the watch.
Don't get the watch. Okay, the watch is the end of.
Just
the
don't
lie.
Just don't have one of those things.
Okay, then that's good. And I will say that both of our iPads, I've always found the iPad to be a useless device.
What is it for?
I don't know, but my parents gave us their old ones, so we just have them, one of which has a cracked screen and the other of which you can't upgrade the operating system. So I feel somehow like that makes me cool.
If you have some old like World War II crank start junkyard iPads, that's
fine. That's what I got.
We have one because we fucking have to, because the school's like, you have to have an iPad so that Oscar can do this one program. So it has literally one app on it for Oscar to do this one thing.
They made you buy an iPad?
Well, they were like, you could also get a Kindle Fire or whatever.
Yeah, but
those
still.
things are just advertisements.
Are there not low-income children at this school?
Yeah, dude.
And they have to scrape together the shekels
Yeah.
to in the pogrom?
Yeah.
Wait,
Wait, can you? It's hard to find a shekel in a pogrom.
That's true. Episode title.
Oh no! That can't be it. That's too.
Is that walking some kind of line?
I feel like it walks. Pogroms. It's a painful history.
Okay. Maybe we could change it. It's hard to find a shekel in a, I don't know, ghetto. I guess that's worse.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, sorry. Oh no, what are the farms?
Kibbutz.
Yeah, it's hard to find a shekel in a kibbutz.
It is, except it didn't occur randomly in our.
My wife is Jewish. I can't use this history to my advantage.
I mean, sure, you certainly can.
All right. Well, we'll keep going. We'll have another. Episode
what do they say around your office, your advertising office, when you have to brainstorm? Because I'm sure people don't use the word brainstorm anymore. So what do they say?
Wiping the cylinders.
No,
we're gonna wipe the cylinders.
They do not.
Yeah.
What?
No.
What does that even mean?
I just made that up.
Oh, that's pretty good. I was like, oh, okay.
Come on, guys. Wiping the cylinders in 3.
What's your Spike Club?
My Spike Club is hearkening back to your union job.
Yes.
Somehow, somewhere along the line, I don't know where this happened. It may just be in my industry. Maybe this is not true of union jobs. I hope it's not. But a 40-hour work week now does not include lunch.
Bullshit.
9 to 6 is the work day.
Bullshit. You know what my union job was? 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
Baby.
9 to 5.
And I got paid for lunch. And getting paid for lunch got me my job. I almost lost the house that when we were closing, the bank was like, wait a second, I don't understand. So you work 7 hours a day? And I was like, no, I get paid for lunch. And they were like, you have to prove it. And so I went into the last collective bargaining agreement, found the clause that said I specifically get paid for lunch, and the mortgage bank was like, okay, you can have your house.
Wait a minute.
It's too long a story, but the point is, fucking pay your employees. Go ahead.
But why did they think you only work 7 hours a day?
I don't know.
Because they're convinced that the 8-hour weekday is 9 to 6.
Yes, exactly right. So they were like, if you make this much an hour and you're working 9 to 5, they knew everything about us, of course, like they do when you start. They were like crawling up our asses with a microscope.
Okay.
And so somehow I remember the linchpin of closing the deal on my house was the fact that I was actually paid for my lunch, for my lunch hour.
Well, okay, so help me understand this, since you clearly have a very direct history with this situation.
Mm-hmm. But actually, no, you should contextualize it more, then ask me that question, because we're jumping ahead because this came from the text thread with Brian earlier today.
Yes.
The 9 to 6 thing.
Yes.
Say more about that first.
Well, so I'm just saying, somehow, I don't know when it happened. I don't think it's been my entire work life, but somehow 9 to 6 became an 8-hour workday because lunch was not included.
Right.
But your entire life, there's a reason why 9 to 5 is a thing.
Right.
There's a reason why there's a movie featuring a amazing Dolly Parton song called 9 to 5.
Exactly.
9 to 5
that song
is an 8-hour workday.
That song kicks ass.
It's a great song. 40 hours a week.
You're right.
Includes
we sleep
lunch.
8 hours. We work 8 hours.
Yes.
We family for 8 hours.
But there's somewhere, it makes me feel crazy. It's like the Berenstain Bears thing. All of a sudden, you wake up and you're like, oh yeah, everyone knows that a work week is 45 hours.
Right.
That you don't get paid for lunch.
And you have to just like be in suspended animation away from the people you love for an extra hour a day.
Yeah.
Because some fucking vice president of human resources who's sitting right now with their family decided this 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And they cost a generation of Americans
Oh, I'm sure.
thousands of hours of parenting.
Yeah.
And so there is a lost
children.
like a generation
our
of lost
generation.
souls.
We're the generation, the children that suffered from this.
Yes,
change.
because some fucking asshole in Omaha, Nebraska
Definitely
was like,
in
we don't
Omaha.
pay you for lunch anymore.
Right.
And I'm the vice president of Human Resources.
Could have been Pueblo, Colorado.
It was probably Pueblo, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely Pueblo, Colorado.
Yes.
Where we would also write for the information.
Exactly, because these guys are like, oh, well, wait a goddamn minute here.
Why are we paying you to chew food?
Why are you eating food right now?
Well, 'cause it's my lunch break.
Hey, you ain't getting no goddamn lunch break. Who said you could have a lunch break?
But I'm peckish.
Hey, you be
I'm-
peckish on your own time, Leroy.
I'm feeling
don't know why his name
snackish,
is
boss.
Listen here.
And right, and so some fucking some vice president who sees their family plenty, or was so corporate and insane they didn't even like their
He doesn't
family.
give a shit about his family.
Doesn't even
this
give
guy.
a shit. He just gave a shit about power and money.
Yeah, and
was
he just,
like no one sees their family.
Yeah, and he's just like
for a generation.
He goes to the president, this VP.
Mm-hmm.
He's on his way up. He's fighting for every inch of his life against
licking boots.
Yeah.
He licked licked boots to the top.
yeah, all the way to the top.
He licked
And
his way to the top.
He's looking at the contracts late at night,
Yep.
away from his family, because
And
why
his-
would he want to be around those?
Right. And at home, his
freaks?
daughter is like, I'm having trouble with algebra, she said to no one.
Oh yeah, who forget her? She's lost. Who
Yeah.
needs her?
Yep.
She's got enough of that sweet VP money to. She doesn't ever need to learn algebra.
What's she doing now? What's she doing now?
Oh, she's married to a horse farmer. So this guy, he's working late at night. He's looking at the contracts.
Yep.
And he's just like, wait a minute. We don't need to pay. We don't need to feed them.
Right.
There's no. They don't need to eat.
The
Whoever
board
said lunch was mandatory.
the board is going to love this.
I'm sorry, I'm itching my underwear.
Go for it.
Yeah, the board is gonna, and the board ate it up,
And
just like that. Those lost lunches.
Right. They were like,
Yes.
this is wonderful.
Yes.
And so then they
Smoking
were
their
like,
fat cigars.
we're going to tell all the new hires work till 6, and slowly we squeeze out the old hires. Tell you what, we're
Exactly.
going to buy a new building and put everyone who thinks it's 9 to 5 on a separate floor, and then we're going to set off the sprinkler system and caulk the windows and drown them all.
Exactly.
And then we're
then
just going to have 9 to 6ers.
And then we can get a whole new generation of workers who never know there was any difference.
And then their kids are going to wander naked through alleyways, wondering what their parents look
Absolutely.
like,
Dripping
and we don't
with
give a
coronavirus.
shit. Dripping.
Dripping, just leaking out of every pore. And we don't care because we got that extra hour of productivity.
Yeah,
GDP's through the roof.
Exactly. And then the joke's on everyone, because if you pay everyone 70 grand and make them work 4 hours a day, they'll all they will all break their backs for you. But if you
right.
pay them for quote unquote 9 hours a day minus 1, they'll do nothing but answer emails that they write to each other.
Exactly. Yes, emailing each other like this endless loop.
I don't understand the business model.
I'm emailing the guy who sits next to me.
Yes,
and explaining
right,
to him
exactly.
something.
You write it. What is it? I don't understand. I'm gonna okay. Why don't we start a corporation where we hire a bunch of fucking whoever's to just email each other, and somehow we can pay them, and money somehow
equals
comes.
Dollar.
I don't understand.
I don't know. Eventually, you have to
They just
present
email
something
each other.
to a client.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe not.
Not that I'm aware of.
In a decent business. Okay, but this just really quickly. This leads into another real quick thing that I just was thinking about the other day. Is that didn't people fight really, 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 really hard for busing?
Preach.
Where are the buses?
Wait. Hold on.
School busing.
Oh, no, it wasn't about whether there would be buses.
Okay.
It was about
Who could take the buses?
No. It wasn't even
where
about
the
that.
buses went.
Yes. Yes. in a
But
manner
that
of speaking.
presumes that there are buses.
Well, the buses were a means to an end, though. That didn't have to do with buses.
Yeah, but fair. But not the equation wasn't you can drive your kid across town to go to a different school.
Yes.
The buses were an integral part of the equation.
Oh, having school buses like in general and not
That's
driving
what I'm
your kid
saying.
to school.
Where are the
Yeah, that's a
buses?
wonderful thing. That's because we live in Los Angeles, though.
And that's a Los Angeles thing?
That's
They were
a Los
just
Angeles
like
thing.
But that's like a crazy making thing where I'm like,
Oh, I know.
Oh, where'd the buses go? And everyone's like, there are no buses.
Buses?
What are you talking about?
And they're
Buses.
like, what about that
Where
one?
are you
And it's
from?
like-
Hayseed McTuckula? Is that where you're from?
Well, then you point to a bus and they're like, look at the children inside that bus.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
But then you're like, where does that bus go? Who's on that bus?
Right,
Who's
yeah.
getting
I
picked
know.
up by that bus?
Here's what I learned. It's funny you should mention this.
Wait, but can I just cap that with one thing?
Mm-hmm.
I was complaining about this to Sarah the other day, and Eli said, we have a bus. I said, you have a bus? He said, yeah, we have a bus. And Hazel said, yeah, only one kid rides on it. The kid in the wheelchair gets a bus.
Oh.
He gets his own bus.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, God bless him. Like, I thank God my kids are. I'm not saying anything derogatory towards this
No, certainly
child in a wheelchair. Like, he should have a bus, but so should my kids.
not. Yeah,
My
right.
kids should have a bus.
The city of Los Angeles. Here's the problem. It's funny this came up because I was just sort of like looking into this myself.
Okay.
The city of Los Angeles is, I didn't know this, 750 square miles.
It's unfathomable.
It's
I
an
can't fathom
unfathomably large city. If there were buses, I think traffic would just stop.
that. Fair, maybe, but no, absolutely not.
Oh, because the cars that bring the children
Yes,
to the
because the bus is
fair
replaced by
point.
60 cars.
Oh, that's a good goddamn point, isn't it? Okay, so withdrawn.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but this is the
You
kind of
sound
thing
like
where they lure
fucking
you.
Elon Musk over here.
I know. They
with
lure
his
you, and then they pull away the thing.
logic. What?
They
Yeah.
like it's like the
Yeah.
airplanes that had the TVs on the back of the seat in front of you. Guess what's disappearing? TVs on the back of the seat in front of you.
Yeah, well, thank God you bought little Leo that iPad or whatever your son's name is.
It's Leo.
Yeah. Cosmo.
Cosmo.
No, Gentry.
Geronimo.
Geronimo.
Gentry.
yes.
Gentry.
I'm so glad you bought him an iPad because now you can sit on an airplane and,
Yep.
and not like this guy over here from Meticula has got a sitting there looking at his watch, his iWatch, the whole flight.
The fucking
Where are the
they
pictures?
lure you with the stupid motherfucking screens in the back of the headrest.
Right.
And then they just go away. They're like, well, now you're loyal to JetBlue, so now
Yeah.
we don't need to show you bullshit anymore.
Right.
And those are
connect-
too expensive. So now
Connect to our
buy
Wi-Fi for $7.99.
yeah, and then buy oh, you don't have a screen?
Yeah.
Buy one for the flight for $10. And so they
Oh,
lure
that's
you
a
and then
thing?
so now they're leasing them out for $10.
And they hand you an iPad.
And they hand you an iPad, and it's like slow and juddery, and it doesn't work, and it's
Right.
bullshit.
Slow and shuddery.
Rah. So
Okay,
here's my Spike Club.
Let's hear your spite.
Boomercrats.
Boomercrats.
I just
Tell me
coined
more.
that.
I love it. I love it.
Let me.
This is a certain a Democrat of a certain age
yeah.
group. I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
And here's how it goes down for them. They're like, well, this economy worked really well for me, so therefore I'm under the impression that we live in a meritocracy.
Okay.
And so all these people that Bernie's talking about, I don't know personally, all these people he says are suffering and struggling, why don't they just work harder? I'm very
Because one
concerned
can do
about
that.
Bernie Sanders because he would shake up this economy that worked very well for moi,
Yeah.
and
That doesn't
I don't
exist
see
anymore.
exactly what's wrong with it.
Right.
Yeah, they don't see that they are standing on the carcass of the golden goose, and
Sure.
they are like, "What? I don't understand. Everything is perfectly fine. I went to college and it cost $25 a semester,
Of course.
and I waitressed 7 times and I paid off my student loans,
Yes.
and then I got a job because there were trillions of jobs, and I had an incredible career, and now I have a retirement and 17 houses.
You could buy a house on a single income.
You could buy a house and say exactly.
That was the thing that you could do.
Yeah, and so
long
these
ago.
these bless them, they raised us, etc. But like these people, and I'm not talking about any boomers we know. I'm talking about them as a cohort. These people.
You might be talking about boomers we know, but sorry, keep going.
None that I know personally,
Okay.
per se.
Okay.
But these people are freaked out by. And so they also fed us a line of bullshit
Sure.
about like free to be you and me in the fucking like 60s and everything Bernie actually says is things that I have been hearing from that whole group of people my entire life.
True.
Then along comes a candidate. By the way, I'm not even necessarily going to vote for Bernie. I might
Okay.
vote for Elizabeth Warren.
Okay.
But nonetheless, this issue is really stuck in my craw.
Sure.
So
and
along comes
he's representative of a certain type of, probably even more so than Warren, because he does have that like she was sort of a like he's been in the struggle for so long.
yeah. Yes, he has been walking the walk.
Yes.
This whole and like he's getting arrested in protests, and he's been doing like he's been walking around in the 80s doing cable access interviews of skateboarders in the mall.
Oh,
He's
haven't seen this.
Oh, it's great.
Really? In Vermont?
He's been the real deal Holyfield for decades.
Sure.
And all of these fucking Boomercrats are like, oh, I don't know. Like they have meanwhile been like ordering off the menu like market price bullshit for decades. They sold the fuck
They're
out.
shrimp scampi.
They're shrimp scampi.
Sitting there with their shrimp scampi.
and their bourguignon.
Yeah,
And
bourguignon.
their fucking bouillabaisse.
Yeah, exactly.
And their houses and all that. And they're like,
I don't know why it seems okay to me out there.
Right, exactly. And they're like, well, things are going
We
very
just need a
well.
return to normalcy.
Oh no, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously we live in a meritocracy because I did well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so it is extremely frustrating to have been fed a line of bullshit about like free to be you and me and the struggle, and then B, see all of them abandon the living embodiment of their generation's message,
Sure.
at the exact time that he could become president and affect the change, because the change threatens their fucking like entrees. And I'm like,
Okay.
oh my God, you guys need to fucking sit this one out and go fuck yourselves.
Sure.
Because there are actually people for whom the economy doesn't work at all, and you're standing on their necks in order to reach your vacation homes. And thank you for voting Democrat, because you're not a psychopath who would vote Republican, but you're still annoying the shit out of me by being like, well, maybe vote for Joe Biden. You know what I mean? That is so goddamn annoying.
Well, okay, so here's my take on this phenomenon that you're describing. I think we were sold a bill of goods about the 60s and the boomers sort of in general.
Oh,
in that it's always been far more of a pose than it has been than popular culture has acknowledged.
Oh, interesting.
So I think the entire revolution of the 60s was far smaller and more minor than we've been led to believe. But it's just the people, it was new at the time that kids were like this heavily involved politically, and the media latched onto this narrative, and they created this entire narrative about what was a relatively small group of people. And there are a lot of boomers who co-opted that as their own identity because they were like, yeah, we're the generation that's changing things. But they never changed shit.
Interesting.
They just did their jobs and had their kids and took advantage of an amazing economy and kept going through all of time until suddenly now here they are, and their identity is still aligned somehow with Democrats, but nothing they really represent or have ever done in their lives has anything to do with progressivism.
Interesting.
That's my theory on the case.
I see. And I feel it important to keep reiterating, present company excluded. Like, your parents who are lovely, my parents, Emily's, everybody.
Me and you, who we might as well be boomers at this point.
God.
We're fucking 45 years old, Brendan.
No, man. We're young exes. You were young exes.
Young exes. We're the commentariat generation.
We're
just look at that one up, that generation up there. Look at that generation down there.
We're such a footnote. It's so sad.
We're just cruising along.
We're just meant to eat.
We had Kurt
the
Cobain.
sins.
We had Kurt fucking Cobain.
He
Who
called
else
it.
had
He
Kurt
was
Cobain?
like, "I'm a dip. I'm gonna dip you guys.
Yeah.
I'm out. I see
out.
where this is all going.
Peace."
Jesus Christ.
Oh, this guy. I love it. Boomercrats.
So boomers. So I love. There are many boomers. Some of my best friends are baby boomers.
Yeah. Are they Boomercrats?
And they're Boomercrats. Well, I don't know where they stand on it all. But
Okay.
I have noticed that, like, en masse, they are all going very centrist, just like the New York Times, which is a centrist news magazine on the East Coast.
Sure.
They're all protecting the upper middle class as if it's this Fabergé precious orb.
Yeah.
That if anyone gets near it, they're like, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, but people are suffering because of that precious orbness.
Sure. I think there must be a place in our politics for realism without fear. Like, I feel like there's just so much fear out there that like we're gonna make them. There's so much hand wringing. We're gonna do the wrong thing. What's gonna happen? We can't choose the wrong person. And you're just like, everyone has a different fucking idea of who the wrong person is, right?
Right.
But it's all determined on who you think someone else will think the wrong person is.
Yes, exactly.
So just get out of someone
vote your
else's
heart.
head.
Yes, vote your heart.
Exactly.
Don't vote for Biden because you think because
You think
who are some
someone else-
armchair quarterback
Right.
is gonna or like he's the one who's gonna beat Trump. You know what I mean? Like maybe because other people have concluded he's definitely the one who can't beat Trump.
Yes.
Because he might inspire not a fuck ton of passion or doesn't do well in debates or whatever it is.
Who's going to be out canvassing for Joe Biden with a giant smile on
And
their
here's what
face?
no one can do: predict the future. Here's what no one can do, especially now: predict the future.
And here's what else no one can do: understand what's in their fucking neighbor's head.
Yes.
You don't know what the fuck is going on with that guy. Why is he up on his roof in Spider-Man pajamas dancing at midnight? I
want to befriend that guy.
You know how that guy's gonna vote?
and the thing is,
Well, he's a meth head, Brendan.
oh well, okay. I don't want to befriend him in that case, but I do want to, and I don't want to have a conversation with him either.
You might.
But I do want to observe him,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah. He looks good up there.
So right, exactly. And so in 6 months' time, who knows what the story is? Who knows what will happen if everyone is like, oh, I guess it's Bern or whatever, like, or Elizabeth, whatever, I guess we like for all those centrists who've had their way for their entire lives and are like, am I going to have to not get my way somehow?
Yeah.
They'll be like, okay, I guess. And then everyone rallies around, and Bernie actually inspires passion in a way that no one else does.
Yeah,
He has the most
with
passionate supporters.
He absolutely does.
And the rest of the Democrats just want fucking Trump out of there. So guess what? If Bernie's very passionate supporters and he can peel off some of Trump's weirdos,
right?
And then the centrists are like, okay, because we definitely don't want Trump anymore.
Yeah.
Guess what happens? We all get our wish,
Yeah.
and we fucking get progressive agenda, which everyone seems to have always wanted, or am I the only one who actually wanted it?
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna. I mean, it seems very likely that he'll be the nominee, so that's a thing. I'm still fucking. The thing I'm terrified about is that there's not going to be a goddamn eletion. That it's going to just. It's just not going to happen.
Well, that definitely will be true with anyone but Bernie. Like if it's Pete Buttigieg, Trump will just cancel the election and then send people with machine guns.
That's
into
true, and
elementary
people
school.
will be like, we didn't really care. Pete lost. Well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. People will stand up and throw flowers in Trump's fucking face if Bernie isn't there.
Exactly.
And
they're always like, here's the thing, it costs $60 trillion. The president just presents budgets to the Congress. The president just receives decisions and makes them. The president is a figurehead who sets the tone of the nation.
Yeah.
So Amy, sure, Maybe it'll cost $60 trillion according to some metrics. That'll get adjusted. The point is, he's not already apologizing and trying to be basically Republican like every other Democrat since Jimmy Carter.
Sure, and what's interesting is that's how you negotiate. This Trump guy who claims to be the king of business, like that's his whole fucking shtick. Is like he starts where he wants, and he never moves. He never budges.
And you get most of what you want.
This guy has remade an entire country in his image.
Yeah.
And he's the shittiest businessman you've ever seen in your life.
All you have to do is
have to do is be an asshole. That's literally the number one skill now that you need to be a good politician.
Yeah. Don't budge.
Be an asshole.
Yes.
Is that our fatherly advice as well? Be an asshole?
Definitely be an asshole.
Brendan, I love this. Is it time to move on? Can we move on to one toe?
Oh, yes. Let's move on to one toe.
You put your one toe in, then leave it in. You're done.
This is to our new listeners.
Are there any new listeners?
Millions. We're on Spotify now.
We welcome you. Did you put us on?
Oh, no, I thought you did.
No, I couldn't log in because Emily has my Facebook password.
Okay, we're not on Spotify.
Well, eventually we'll get there.
Eventually. There is another Jeff Dinsmore on Spotify, I just learned.
Oh.
Jeff Dinsmore. Come on, this guy.
Geoff?
No. That guy, I'm not messing with him.
Geoffrey.
One toe in the cool.
Mm-hmm.
This is a segment where we talk about something cool we did.
Yep.
I had a very prolific, a very jam-packed week and weekend last week.
I see.
First of all, my parents were in town. It was their 50th anniversary.
Happy anniversary, you guys.
5-0.
Oh,
have you ever heard of such a thing? Most people don't live to 50.
No, that's true.
These guys are still, most people are dripping with coronavirus by the age of 50. These two, they survived.
Congratulations, you two.
The entire pandemic.
That is 50 years. That is a major accomplishment. I've been married 10 years.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I've been married 8.5 years, and it feels like 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess Sarah and I were married first. Yeah, because we had a baby at your wedding. I mean, we didn't have it at your wedding.
That was kind of fucked up, dude.
That was a great wedding. Come on. I was just amazed that Sarah was able to dance after that. She somehow stole the life of the party. No. Okay, so
Your
parents were in town. They rented a house in Palm Springs.
I've heard of it.
We stayed out there. It had a pool.
Mm-hmm.
Hot tub.
A hot tub.
Mm-hmm. Just a lovely place. The weather was ideal, so I took a couple days off work. It was amazing.
Awesome.
There's an amazing record store in the mall in Palm Springs.
There's a mall in Palm Springs?
Yeah. You know what's happening now? There is a mall in Palm Springs.
The one near the Marilyn Monroe statue?
I didn't see. Is there a Marilyn Monroe statue in Palm Springs? Oh, I missed it somehow. But yeah, there's a mall out there, and what's happening? I saw this in Flint when I went home as well. The idea of the mall has crumbled to a certain extent. You don't have a there's not a lot of chain stores. There's no more like your Chess Kings, for example. Your county seats probably aren't around anymore.
Hickory Farms.
Yeah, your Hickory Farms maybe not so much.
Hickory Farms.
Yeah, your Things Unlimited.
Oh yeah.
Where you can get anything etched. You can get anything engraved at Things Unlimited, I believe. Your Spencer's Gifts. Actually, still some Spencer's Gifts are
still
around.
Kicking it?
Yeah.
Sharper Image.
Believe it or not. Sharper Image. We never had those in my malls. That's more of like a airport, I feel like.
Sharper Image was the shiz bomb.
Yeah, it's a wonderful store. Good products. And they're our sponsor for the week, as a matter of fact.
Thanks, Sharper Image.
Sharper Image.
But Sharper Image circa 1994.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Is sponsoring us right now in 2020.
Exactly. They've got this amazing game that has like compressed air that puffs this little ball up, and you have to move it with a little joystick.
Yeah,
it's
and there's
amazing.
of course the light up backgammon briefcase.
Yeah, the light up backgammon briefcase. Yours for only $7.99.99. So this phenomenon is happening at malls around America where they don't have your Chess Kings that are renting space from them, so they're renting out space to local merchants. So now you've got like this amazing used record store in a mall.
Oh, that's odd.
Yeah, it's very odd,
but it's
cool. It's reclaiming
like pop up
the Times Square. This I think is a permanent installation. Is a permanent store, but it's just like the rent is so cheap that they're like, well, I'd rather put my store in the mall than downtown where it costs an arm and a leg.
Oh yeah, free AC.
I gotta stand under, look up at Marilyn Monroe's skirt all day.
Right.
You know, so
that's
that was
amazing.
Yeah, so that was fun. So I got some good records, some records.
Yeah.
And then we come back for a couple of days, and last Friday night we went to see What the Constitution Means to Me.
Oh yes, of course. Starring Maria Dizio, who I once met.
Did you? Yeah, that was the case.
Yeah, she did a show at Yale while I was there.
Are you kidding?
Lovely gal.
Everyone in existence has a connection to this play. So my friend Oliver Butler directed it.
Yes, Oliver Butler. Who?
Do you know Oliver Butler?
Yeah, everyone knows Oliver Butler.
How do you know Oliver Butler?
I don't remember how I know him, but somehow we're friends on Facebook.
Oh, fantastic. Amazing. Yes, and he directed my one-man show, Christmas with the Flamingos, way back when.
You're shitting me.
I am not.
And he directed this theatrical...
He directed it on Broadway, and then he brought it out here.
Jesus.
I know. And
Oliver.
The
and he has
woman...
the fax hat.
Yes, exactly. The fax hat. That's Oliver Butler. Shout out. And the woman who wrote it is from Wenatchee, Washington. Is that right? Yeah, I guess so. Seattle. Wenatchee. And it's that is where my brother-in-law is from.
Oh,
it's
Jesus!
A small town.
Wow,
very small town. Yeah.
How do you like that?
So I didn't know. I bought my parents tickets to it as a birthday or as an anniversary present, which actually it was sold out, and so I reached out to Oliver and I said, hey, do you have any comps that I could buy? And he hooked me up with 4 amazing tickets to this show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which was so great. Such a mensch.
What a mensch.
I still owe him something in exchange for that, which I will send it to him.
I see.
Not anything illicit, just a gift. You have to give a guy a gift when he does something nice like that for you. It's protocol.
What's the answer to a fax hat? That would be the gift, is to give him something that goes with
MAGA hat? That's just rude.
Right. No, you got to give him something that goes with the fax hat.
Oh, interesting. I was just going to send him a bottle of scotch.
Oh, that works too.
But that's labor on that. Think on that.
I will.
But the show was just fucking great. It was so good.
Really?
It was so good, Brendan.
Oh my God.
I didn't know what it was about, really.
I've been very curious about it.
And it's just like it's far more about her.
There's a strand about violence against women, is that correct?
That's a major part of it, yes.
I see.
It's basically just like how is this Constitution that we revere and we have we all blood has run from this thing
and it is. I have a feeling you're about to reveal something about it that none of us feel like we want to know. But I will say before you do,
yes,
it is a miracle.
Okay,
continue.
I might grant you that, but who is it a miracle for?
Landowners, the wealthy.
Not everyone, exactly, and that's sort of like the underpinnings of this play.
Interesting. So it's the people that the Constitution forgot.
Kind of, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
they're
just like the things,
and all that, yeah.
Everything that the Constitution left out that has been abused. Not to say that the founders necessarily intended for it to be abused in the way it has been, but just the way that power dynamics work, what has become of this Constitution with all of its noble intentions.
Well, you combine it with capitalism and everyone gets fucked in the ear socket.
Bad news out there.
They were just guys.
They were
just
working
some clever lawyers.
9 to 6.
Yeah, so exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just guys.
Yeah, who owned humans.
Exactly.
That's a thing.
It's a thing.
But okay, so that was Friday night, and then Saturday we bought tickets. We bought passes to Universal Studios, Brendan.
Oh, do you recommend such a thing? Did you see the shark on the tram tour?
No, we haven't even gone on it yet because Eli's too scared. So I haven't even
the tram tour is sick.
That's what I hear. But Eli,
you go into a subway station and then it floods. There's an earthquake and a flood.
That sounds amazing.
It's awesome.
I'll just take Hazel one day because she'll go on anything.
You also go into this tunnel where they start spinning the actual tunnel. It looks like a rock tunnel, but then the whole thing spins.
Sounds amazing.
Around the train, and you think you're gonna puke your guts out
Oh, I love
instantly,
it.
but in a good way.
I just puked my guts out thinking about it. No, you do puke your guts out on 9/5 of the. Sorry, that's too many. 9/10 of.
That sounds like a Chris Cornell song.
Yeah, I was thinking about 3/5, 9/5.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like a Chris Cornell song. It's interesting. R.I.P. Pour one out. So yeah, the most of the rides at this place are screen based. So they put you in a little car, they shake you around, and you're looking at a screen that's doing the same thing that the car's doing, and it makes me they make me so much sicker than normal rides.
Oh yeah,
because you have no fixed point of reference in your view.
Oh yeah, it's like the mystery spot outside of Santa Cruz.
Haven't been, but
okay.
I know what you mean. It's like suddenly you're walking and you're 3 feet tall.
Well, what they do is they build a house, a normal house, but they build it on the side of a hill.
Yeah.
So it's very tilted.
Yeah.
But they don't build it up like a normal house on a hill would be. They build it out from the ground as if the ground is flat, yet it's on a hill.
Right.
So that's part of what they do. And then they cover all the windows.
Okay.
So you can't see
no
out
fixed
the
point of
windows,
reference.
and so the gravity is pointing in the wrong direction compared to any house you've ever been in. And they do all this weird shit in there, and you're like, what the fuck?
Really?
Yeah, there are enough gags based on that to have an entire tourist destination.
Maybe I should get season passes to the Mystery House.
You shouldn't not.
So here's the thing, though. It's $100 to go for the day. It's $150 for an annual pass. So you're like, might as well.
Brilliant. So
Might
then
as
you're
well.
like, well, what am I going to do?
What am I going to do? But we've gone 3 times.
Oh.
And there's cool stuff there. Harry Potter Land is pretty cool.
Or for the whole family?
Each.
Okay.
It's a penny. But Hazel had it. She's obsessed with Harry Potter right now, so she had to go, and we went.
This is Oscar.
And she likes that.
Look at me and Oscar.
Oscar,
passes.
that's his name.
His name is Oscar. My son's name is Oscar.
Thank you. I don't see him. You don't invite me to
I know.
things.
Well, dude,
I'm the guy who doesn't get invited to the birthday party.
There is no birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Emily's gone.
Yeah.
Mahershala
got invited.
Well,
why did I?
He won an Oscar. He won 2 Oscars.
He's a fantastic actor. Come on.
He's very good. Although even he was like, I wish I wasn't in Green Book, and now you're giving me an Oscar for it. Now I have to make a speech.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys for giving me this Oscar for fucking Green Book, which is like a racist Boomercrat movie.
He should have just gone up and been like,
I'm
sorry.
I didn't read the script. I had promised to read the script by EOD Friday, and it was Saturday morning. My agent called, and I pretended I had read it, and I said yes. Yeah. And here we are. Yeah. So thanks for the Oscar, jackasses.
Listen, we're nothing but love for him. An actor cannot be faulted for
for the
quality of the film.
The dunderheaded.
I didn't see it. What am I talking about?
But
it was Vigo. Vigo's fucking great too.
I know, but people and Sandra Bullock did The Blind Side, and The Blind Side is complete racist horseshit. But the thing is, like, there's this way in which the movies are emitted from this town for a specific audience. Yeah. That are racist without anyone watching or making it know they're racist. Only everyone else knows it's racist.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right. Well, everyone not middle America. I mean, The Blind Side, probably you could still find someone. You could probably still
DVDs in a red box.
Throw a stick and find 20 people who are like, that movie was so moving.
Yeah, and you're like, are you fucking kidding me?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Or Beasts of the Southern Wild. Like, are you kidding me? I saw this picture of the director at the Sundance Film Festival.
Did a white guy direct that?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. At the Sundance Film Festival, there was this picture of a presser. About
oppressing, of
of
course.
Beasts of the Southern Wild,
wasn't
where
it?
the white director was holding up the little
star.
girl, with the also white male then director of the Sundance Film Festival in the background, smiling on, and he was like literally holding her body up and forward,
to be
presenting her to the to the press, and it was disgusting. And the head of Sundance was like, oh,
of course.
And it was just, and it like Hollywood does this over and over again. Oh, don't get started. I hope none of my Boomercrat friends listen to this episode because I really need to sound off about this issue.
They're gonna have some words.
Are they? Do you think?
They're gonna
You
have
mean
some
on
words
the
for you.
Angel Fire?
Yes,
They're the only
forums.
ones left in the Angel Fire forum.
That's true. God bless them, though.
they do keep the fires burning.
Yeah,
and the Angel
they-
Fire is burning.
They find a thing and they stick with it. God bless them.
And they remember that complicated URL every time they type it in.
I know. And what's even crazier is they're doing it on their iWatches. How? How are they doing this?
That is amazing. URLs on iWatch.
Do you have what segment are we even on?
I
One toe
don't
in the
know.
cool.
And how long
Oh,
have we been talking?
I did one other thing.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday night in Highland Park in your neighborhood.
I live there.
I can't believe I didn't invite you to this thing. I'm an asshole.
What am I going to do? Come?
Yeah, well, I kind of figured.
But have you met me? I don't go to things.
Did you happen to be in downtown Highland Park anytime on Saturday?
No, that's when I was that was at my One Toe in the Cool, which I'll reveal to you.
Oh,
I was out of town.
Okay, you were out of town. Well, so you know this. Have you heard of this Amazon show Hunters with Al Pacino
Yeah.
about Nazi hunters?
Yes.
So they took over the movie theater and the bowling alley. And
Oh,
they
yeah.
had like a day-long premiere event
Oh my God.
where like every hour they showed the thing in the movie theater,
Uh-huh.
and they had all these like 70s cars around, and they hired all these people to pretend they were like in the 70s.
No shit.
And they gave away like they had drinks and they had pizza and they had the swag.
Oh, I saw the 70s cars being brought to it on Saturday morning.
Okay, there you go. And you're
Yeah,
like, why
yeah,
are all
on a
those
big
70s cars here?
trailer thing. Yeah.
So and we went to this thing and it was super fun.
Was it for the general public? How did you go?
Anyone. You could just they just announced it.
How'd you find
had
out
to
about it?
You reserve your ticket. Our good friend Jay Breda,
Oh, of course.
he told me about it.
Does he listen to this radio program
No.
we put out? Hi,
no.
Jay.
Why are you going to talk shit about him?
No, I was just going to be like, hi, Jay.
He has better things to do than listen to a radio program.
He does. There's a
but-
fellow Red Sox fan. Proceed.
But you, the show is
Brida, not Brida?
Breda.
Keep going.
Show leaves something to be desired. It's
I can't imagine. Are you serious?
Did you watch it?
No, I've seen like the previews with the sound off, and I'm like, that is a piece of crap.
Yeah. Well, it's like the most Tarantino, non-Tarantino
That's
thing you've ever seen in your
exactly what it
life.
looks like it's cashing in on. It's like Quentin Tarantino
It's
invented
weird.
a thing.
It's a little
where-
weird.
Yeah, it was like we get to like have cathartic non-versions of history,
Yeah.
and be excused from the atrocities of the human race.
Oh yeah.
And now we're gonna make a cheap version of it, which is
Right.
TV, in which people just sit in rooms talking because that's all TV is.
And it's super like exploitative. Like there's just like every other scene is like from the concentration camps and people just getting slaughtered.
I'm angry now.
Jews getting slaughtered.
fucking
Excuse me.
I know, I'm
Like
really
this is
mad.
entertainment, and we're just supposed to be like, oh, look how hard it was. But you made up all these fucking scenarios about like, oh, they made a human, whatever merry-go-round full of Jews. Like, no, it didn't ever happen.
That makes my skin crawl.
You want to show the things that actually happened.
Yes.
That
It
were just
actually-
as atrocious.
Less than 100 years ago, there was a fucking actual Holocaust,
Yeah.
and it was horrifying.
Yeah, just use those examples.
Yeah, or
You don't need to make
or
shit
don't
up.
make it entertaining at
You're
all.
from your sick fantasy world.
Yeah, or just replay the sorrow and the pity over. and
Yeah,
over
let's just
again.
watch that. Yeah, let's just yeah.
It's so unbelievable.
Okay, tell me about your one toe in the cool. You went out of town.
We did. Yeah, this is not really that big of a one toe, but it's only
Just
interesting
hung out
because
with
it
T.
happened
Swift.
to me. Oh well, T Swift. Yeah, she's cool. Tay Tay,
Yeah, Tay.
Swifty for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Yep.
in the.
That movie has made quite a splash.
I've heard nothing but great things about it. I haven't seen it.
I
We should say
observed
that
it and watched it.
Brendan's wife was the DP on this movie.
Yep.
Do you feel like
Cinematographer.
you probably can't reveal your feelings one way or the other on this movie?
Oh, sure I can.
Well-
A, my wife doesn't listen to this, and B, neither does a single Taylor Swift fan.
Okay, that's fine. I just wonder what you were talking at one point about some shenanigans that happened behind the scenes
Oh, that I can't talk about.
that changed the cut.
Oh, yeah, I definitely can't talk about that. But
Okay.
what I can talk about is the fact that Emily was very trepidatious about having the cinematography credit, despite the fact that like all of
Interesting.
my nieces and nephews on both sides of the family keep sending selfies of themselves next to her plate at the end, or a title card at the end of the movie, where it says cinematography. She has a single title card at the
That's
end.
amazing.
Which is cinematography by Emily Topper.
It's amazing.
And so, every day for a little while there, we were getting pictures of the kids in front of cinematography by Emily Topper, which is so nice.
That's
et cetera.
amazing.
But then you watch it, and there's this one scene. So I watched it. Emily's out of town, and Netflix was like, "Hey, you want to watch this documentary about Taylor Swift?" And I was like, "Fucking no."
Yeah, who would want to watch this garbage?
I know, but I was like, "But I guess my wife shot it. All right, fuck it." And I hit play.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I remember that weekend she was gone. Oh, I remember that trip she was gone."
Right.
It's there.
Yeah.
But in
what
any
they
case,
don't show is you tending to little Leo.
they don't show me doing dishes while Leo hits me in the head with a spatula.
Exactly. Somehow that's not a part of Taylor's story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Look, Tay-Tay."
Poor little rich girl.
So there's this part where she's like, "Should I come out and be political and like reveal that I am not a fucking criminally insane psychopath,
Emily said this?
i.e. a Republican?" No, Taylor Swift is like saying
okay.
to her dad, I need to say this thing about.
Oh yeah, I
what's
need
her
to
name.
tweet it. This
I
is
need- I
the
need to-
famous tweet.
Yeah, the famous tweet.
Yeah.
And it's the whole thing, right?
Right.
And it's like it's an interesting story, and good on her, by the way, too, for being like, by the way, everyone, I don't
offered
think,
an opinion.
Yeah, she was like, "Racism is bad?"
Yeah.
Mark. You know
Right.
what I mean? And everyone's like,
Yeah.
But in case she's like having this, she has this big monologue with her dad.
Okay.
In some green room, and she's talking, and the focus is buzzing like crazy, and one can tell, the husband of a cinematographer can tell that the autofocus is on, and the little whatchamacallit servo thing or whatever is not finding her face, and so she's like in and out of focus in this crucial part of the film. And I was like, How did that happen? Emily comes back, and I was like, "Emily,
because she didn't shoot it."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I was like, "What was up with this? Were you on autofocus when she was telling her dad off?"
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, no. That was some millennial intern who did her social verticals or whatever." You know what I mean? So like someone shot that on who knows what, and like half of the movie is her just like team who don't know shit about cinematography, who are like cutting her off of the eyebrows and stuff like that. And Emily was like, "There's so much of that movie that I didn't shoot."
Oh.
And A, I'm like, ugh. And B, I'm like, ethically, should I even be listed as cinematographer? And I'm like, take the credit. No one's actually going to watch the thing.
Well, 51%. If she shot 51%, then she shot the movie.
She's not even sure she shot 51%.
Oh God.
It's like, but you might have.
Half of it is fucking.
And she's like these millennial
TikTok
interns.
or whatever.
It's like TikTok is like on cell phones or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like Mark Ronson being like, we just finished this track and it's really jamming, or however Mark Ronson talks.
Probably like that.
I don't even know if he produced her album, but let's say it was him.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, you know who it was?
He's
It was the
too good.
bassist of Fun Period.
Okay, that sounds right. Yeah, it was.
Who dated Lena Dunham?
Yes, right, exactly. Jack Antonoff.
Who Emily developed a liking for.
He's quite good, actually.
She actually liked everyone in the Taylor universe and Taylor. She liked all of them. She's out there. She said they were all great
I love
people.
that. Behind the scenes. Why are we not the top podcast on iTunes?
I know you get the serious shit on it. Yeah,
you can get this on your iWatch. Boomercrats. Are we even still here? What are you talking about? What's your?
Oh, I never got there. So
Cool.
we went. It's not even a thing. But in any case, my next door neighbor was like, "Hey, will you? I have a night shift." She's a veterinarian. She's like, "I have a night shift, and would you let my dogs out tonight and then tomorrow morning?"
Who let the dogs out?
Brendan.
Who let the dogs out? Leo.
Brendan, and Leo.
Okay.
My son's name is Oscar.
Josh Biggs' son's name is Leo.
Who?
Josh Biggs.
I
don't know why I grasped for that name.
Josh Biggs is a
I know
person.
your son's name is Oscar.
Will you tap on that microphone?
No, don't tell me. Did we not record any?
Oh
of
no,
this?
you're there. I'm just gonna have to turn your track up like crazy.
Oh, God.
In any case,
I've been like screaming into the microphone.
You're doing great. Oh, that's
Thank you.
Oh, is that not a? That's also a Shure SM58.
That's correct.
Your cord is a little longer. Maybe that's what the issue is. Shouldn't be.
How dare you?
I mean, isn't that a compliment?
Oh, I guess so. Get it. Sometimes I get it.
I'm wearing a hernia belt, by the way.
Get it stuck in the door. Oh yeah, you're still got your.
I'm wearing it's like a garter
guts
or
tucked up inside you.
a corset for my guts.
You're gonna be awesome on Halloween. You just let those guts out.
Who let the guts out? Brendan's abdominal wall.
Who let the guts out?
Brendan's abdominal
Okay,
wall.
For God's sakes, just tell us what you did.
Oh, it's not that interesting.
Your night nurse, your wet nurse asked for you to take the dogs out.
And I did, and I like let her dogs out for a couple nights in a row.
Okay.
And then she was like,
Wow,
by the way, I
that
have
is
a
cool.
cabin in Lake Arrowhead.
Oh,
And she was like, just go use it. And I was like, you have a cabin in Lake Arrowhead?
yeah.
And she was like, yeah, there's a code on the door. Here's the code. Get up there. And I was like, well, I'm going. And I took Oscar, and we went to a cabin for the week.
You and Oscar?
By ourselves.
Just the two of you?
Just the two of us.
What does
And it
one
was
do in a
raining
cabin
and
for the
foggy.
weekend?
Play Monopoly.
Ooh, fun.
And we finished an entire game.
Yeah.
And it was a fucking bloodbath.
Yeah.
And Oscar won.
Oh, my God.
And he fair and square. Like, he fucking destroyed me.
You're the first people in
finished the
history
game.
to finish a game of
I
Monopoly.
ran out of money and had mortgaged everything I had. I mean, it took us 2 days to finish it.
Yeah.
So we just like, it was raining outside. The cabin was awesome. We played Monopoly, went out for pizza, came home, put him to bed. I watched half of Alien and the first 2 episodes of Los Spookies, which is great.
Oh, my God. It's my favorite show.
It's so good.
It's my favorite
And the
fucking
casting
show.
of the main character,
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, is that guy going to be number 1?
Yeah.
Oh, that is the most brilliant casting of all time.
they're all
that goth
good.
guy.
I love
it's
all of
so everything, and of course the kid, my favorite Shapes kid.
Yeah.
He's like, but they're all great, and Tati and everybody.
It keeps getting better. It's just like,
It's so, and Fred Armisen is such a national
he's
treasure.
just so good.
All I
did you-
wanted to do was park cars.
Have you seen the Sea Monster episode yet?
No.
Oh my God, so good. Okay, sorry.
Los
keep going.
Spookies,
I love
and
it.
it's in
Los
Spanish
Spookies.
and it's in English.
I love
It's
it.
great.
I love it.
So anyway, I watched a couple Los Spookies.
Yeah.
and I watched half of Alien. A wonderful film.
Oh, such a good film.
So confident.
So good.
And Emily and I realized
Yeah.
that we both have a major Ridley Scott weakness.
Interesting. I up to a point.
Mm.
Up to a point. And that point is Gladiator.
I was gonna say, is that point when it's Tony Scott?
Yeah, no.
God rest his soul.
I actually quite like. I watched a Tony Scott movie recently that was quite good.
Tony Scott had a thing.
The
he
train
did.
movie.
The
Did you
train
see
movie.
The
It's
train movie.
Objectively,
It's great.
thrilling.
It's great.
The turn in
oh my God,
whatever
the whole thing.
Pennsylvania.
You're just like what's gonna happen?
And it's Chris
next?
Pine and who's the
Oh,
other
it's
guy?
Taut.
Denzel.
It's Denzel. Yeah, tight, taut, delicious.
Tight, taut, and delicious.
Yeah.
Why?
Okay, maybe that's a better
Tight, taut,
episode title.
Tony Scott. Tight, taut, and delicious. No, he can't because he died.
Well, it can just be
At his
tight,
own
taut, and
hand.
delicious.
Tight, taut, and delicious.
I
Okay.
think that's lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. I love that you went to a cabin
We were in a
in
cabin.
the woods.
It was so much fun.
And you didn't
then
get
the next day we went
murdered.
to like Arrowhead. Oh, I know. And I was like, and I actually don't know her very well. And on the wall, it is there's a framed picture of words, and the words are Melissa's murder cabin.
Oh dear me! Oh, I love her.
And there's a baseball bat under her bed.
Well, there should be.
And I was putting her. I was
you're in the
putting him
murder
to bed.
cabin.
I mean, she's yeah. I was putting him to bed, and then I was like, "Fuck is this baseball bat doing under the bed?" Now I'm a little scared, and then I
Oh.
went down and locked the door,
Yeah,
even though
well
it's a
done.
cabin in the middle of the woods. But dude,
Yeah.
cabins.
Yeah, cabins.
Fuck the beach.
No, who needs a
Go to
beach?
the mountains.
I need a cabin.
And we didn't do anything.
Yeah,
But you don't do any of the
That's
beach
love.
either. But the beach is like an ordeal.
it's an ordeal. You not doing anything is doing something at the beach. It's like you're just the amount of things you have to carry.
Schlepping. The weekend before that, we went camping in Chino Hills State Park or whatever.
Okay.
And that was, I mean, it was fine. It was great or whatever. But there's so much there's so many
Schlepping.
nouns and there's so much schlepping.
Yeah.
And there's so much and then you have to lay down outside while other people have their lives next to your head.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, when will this end?
It's I here's one thing I really like about camping. I will say, I like just being outside for a couple days. Like I really like that part of it.
Sure, forest
And-
bath.
But I never feel as if like I'm away from civilization. I'm just like, oh, I'm outside. It's nice to be outside.
You get
But
this-
you're always like, if I really wanted to buy a thing of macaroni and cheese, like I could go 2 miles and do it.
Yeah.
Right?
I think you get the same effect from a cabin, except you're in a house.
Yeah, and you're actually comfortable.
And you're comfortable. And then you get the forest to eat stuff or whatever and
Yeah.
the peace and quiet, yet you don't have to pretend it's the fucking post-apocalypse.
Yep. I love it.
And cannibalism is right around the corner.
I'm pushing on because
Yeah,
we need
it's
to
late.
end this thing.
Let's do fatherly advice.
Fatherly advice.
Help me, Daddy. Fatherly advice. Help me, Daddy. fatherly advice?
I think you should go first because I don't have any.
Okay, well, I'm gonna piggyback on my something I was talking about last week, which is that I bought this Walkman,
Oh, yes.
digital Walkman, where I have my songs on it.
Yes, of course.
And my advice to people, I need you to just disconnect, reframe. Hopefully, we all of us, until, let's say, 6 years ago, probably, we had CDs that we had accumulated.
Amen.
We had media that we had accumulated.
Portable media that existed as a noun.
Yes, exactly. And maybe you've sold all of them off. Maybe you've got them like in a box somewhere. But here's my advice to you, people.
Bring it.
Listen to your music again. Get off of your Spotify. Don't be like, oh, I remember. Oh, I love Jagged Little Pill. Let me find that on Spotify and listen to it. No, because Spotify is going to be like, oh, maybe you'll like this artist. And then you'll want to click on that. And then you'll be like, then suddenly you're in a different place. And you're just not giving yourself the opportunity. You need limitations. You need guardrails. You need to just sit down and enjoy your music that you have chosen. Like we have talked about last week, you have cultivated your own personal brand, your stuff that makes you feel the way you like to feel, and just spend some time with that. Enjoy it. Savor it. Be limited again.
I find that very interesting. I listened the other morning to Surfer Rosa and cleaned the house to it.
And you just listen to it, right?
And from beginning to end, one album, no shuffle, no algorithmic.
Yes.
Like maybe now.
How did that feel?
Servitude. It was great. And I was like, oh, this is, I mean, what an album.
Yeah.
And I knew that
it
20 years ago.
Note for note. You know it note for note.
Yep.
It's not like you're probably not going to get any surprises on Surfer Rosa. But what you will get is a complete feeling.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
You want it. You want that complete feeling. You don't want to be skipping around from feeling to feeling.
No.
You don't want to be like, oh, what's the next high? You're like,
no.
One
man strong vision that isn't me.
Yes. Just savor it. Just sit in it.
Yep.
Enjoy it. That's what it's meant for. We're not meant to be living in this world of constant stimulation, constant pings. We're meant to just enjoy a thing.
And this we come from a musical tradition where you would have to listen to an album 3 times before it would even be at all accessible or appealing.
It wouldn't click.
You take your
hunk
Papas, for instance.
One might.
You listen. I remember listening to Hunk Papa when I was 15 years old.
Absolutely.
This was long before, of course, I personally befriended Tony Donnelly.
And you're right.
Actually, my sister did. But the point is,
yes. You're like, what are these bitches wailing about? That's how you felt when you put that thing in.
To Hunk Papa, and I was like, I don't actively like this now.
Not a fan.
But let me listen to this 4.5 more times.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, actually.
No, it's starting to sink in, isn't it?
It sinks in.
Yes.
Like you need nasty cheese.
You don't need that. There was I listened to this podcast about, I forget what it's called. It's a Slate podcast where it's like songs. Oh, it's the pop chart. It's about the pop charts. And they did a thing on Bon Jovi once. And on the Bon Jovi episode, they talked about the genius of starting with the hook. Shower through the heart and you're to blame.
Darling.
You give love a bad name. Like you don't know what's coming, and then boom, that just hits you out of the blue.
Yeah.
And that is something now that every song does because they don't want to lose you. They want to grab you within those first 2 seconds.
Before you hit next.
Because that's how you get paid on Spotify.
Oh, motherfucker.
But you need to go back to a fucking band that didn't give a shit about that. They're not trying to tailor their song to some kind of algorithm.
Right.
They're just writing this. They're just doing the thing. And yes, it'll take you several listens. You put in Daydream Nation for the first time, you're not going to know which end is fucking up. You're not going to know what's going on there. You're going to put that shit on and you're going to be like, this is garbage. I've never heard something so disastrous.
Your Wolf Trout manuscript, what was it called?
Oh,
again?
your Wolf Trout manuscript. Exactly.
What was that called?
Yeah, Captain Jellylegs. Yeah, General Jellylegs and the Wolf Trout manuscript. One of our favorites here at Dad Jeans. No, Trout Master
Admiral
replica, for God's sake.
Admiral Reuben meat.
I'll be honest, I still don't get that. But I'll tell you what Captain Beefheart was not doing was
Trout
trying.
mask replica.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you. I just thought of it.
I'll tell you what Captain Beefheart was not doing was trying to front load the fucking hook.
They weren't trying to front load shit.
They were backloading. They were front loading.
They were like,
middle
check
loading.
with us in about 9 albums
They
if you want to
loaded
hear
nothing.
something.
Exactly. But maybe that'll be your thing. Maybe you'll spend 72 hours listening to that and you'll suddenly see God. Could happen.
If I had a cabin in the mountains, you know what the only album would be up there?
It would be
Wolf Trout manuscript.
General Jellylegs. Absolutely.
And that's all. That reminds me, because I lived in an apartment for 3 weeks once that had one tape.
Oh yeah, and it was Goodbye Cruel World.
Goodbye Cruel World,
Elvis
which is
Costello.
objectively horrible, except it's awesome if you listen to it for 3 weeks.
It'll grow on you. But that's what if you had Spotify back then. Well, you would have just listened to every song in existence.
I would not be
and
as
you would
deep
not
a
remember
person
anything.
as I am now.
You
I would
know
not
nothing.
have refined taste.
No, you would
I would
know
not
nothing.
be a subscriber to the LA Opera.
Absolutely. No, you would not. You would not be that. Are you that?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
A subscriber? What does that mean?
I go to the opera
Regularly?
every time they have a show.
Jesus.
I have tickets for tomorrow night. You want to go?
An annual membership to the opera.
Yeah.
Lordia Mianiana.
Oh,
You just went to
you're
the
gonna
opera
make me
right
cry.
here.
That's
on Dad
wonderful.
Jeans.
Pirandello, is that what that was?
Something like that. I don't know the words. That sounds lovely. I won't go with you tomorrow, but I would like to go with you at some point.
I would enjoy that very much.
Can I read the lyrics?
I have to warn you. Oh yeah, there's
Do
a
they
whole
have
thing. They have lyrics up
mini-trons?
top, and then there's
Okay.
but I get really fucking baked when I go
Ooh, why are you warning me?
because I
Sounds
will be terrible.
fantastic.
I'll be terrible company. Like you'll try and chit chat, and I'll be like,
Bumba.
what?
No, I don't want that. I don't want to talk to you when
Because
you're
you do the
stoned. I don't
edible, a little mint or whatever, and then you just
Okay.
sit there and let it wash over you.
Huh.
But I have my tickets are also in the last row,
Yeah, that's
obstructed view.
fine. Yeah, and you're the highest guy there.
I'm in two
Surrounded
ways.
by Boomercrats. Yeah, totally.
Exactly. I'm surrounded by usually people on dates that I never see again. Like I have no neighbors that are there the next time.
Oh,
it's
that's
just me
awesome.
by myself with
Really?
all the hoi polloi.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that about you. Okay, do some fatherly advice and let's get
Subscribe to the opera
out of here. Oh, that's great. Good.
and
good
get
advice.
fucking high when you go.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like opera, and there's a lot not to like.
Yeah.
Do it anyway.
I just don't get it.
Well, there's nothing
Would
to get.
Would I get it if I listened to it?
If it's
more?
not in Italian, there's not even really any point to it.
No, but it's just like any classical. I've tried really, really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
I've just tried so hard.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you. I totally hear you.
And it never sinks in.
A lot of opera.
I'm
is
a music. I love
fucking
music,
horrendous.
but I love music. Why
Yeah.
can't I get there with opera?
Start
or
with
classical?
The Marriage of Figaro
Okay.
by
You love
Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
Yeah,
Just start there.
yeah.
Because it is genuinely
And then
funny
graduate to Gilbert and Sullivan.
beautiful. Yes, and graduate. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Actually, start and just stop there, and then like opera snobs are like Mozart, but like he was actually a fucking genius. And then
I don't doubt it, but
and
I
then
don't.
Wagner, and then you're kind of done. That's it. There's
And
only
then
like
now you're a Nazi.
well, that's there's a lot of stuff you have to accommodate in order to enjoy the opera.
Well, in order to enjoy the entire Western canon, probably.
I mean,
Right.
what are we accommodating? I drove here on roads.
Yeah, it's true. Roads built by the sweat and blood of men who were owned by the founders of the country.
Oh my god. It's enough to make a person just lose their goddamn gourd.
I don't think they had cars back then. One thing those guys were is environmentalists.
The founding fathers?
Sure.
Because they weren't burning fossil fuels.
Exactly.
They certainly weren't.
Nope.
You're right about that.
Right?
Ecologically speaking, they had a much more sound world interface.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, they liked it. They like leaves.
What have we talked about? I don't remember a single thing we talked about.
This is a very weak ending to the show.
Should we stare in each other's eyes? You know what I learned today? You're only supposed to look in someone's left eye.
Oh, that's a good learn. That's great fatherly advice.
Yeah. Okay. Don't subscribe to the opera. Instead, only look in a person's left eye. Their left, your right.
What does that do for you?
Well, it connects to their right brain.
Okay.
And so
how does it feel?
It's the eye through which I feel very synthesized with you, Jeffrey. I feel like I really want to get present to our I can't think of anything to say because I'm looking into this eye which demands honesty. The other eye, you take a vacation from that eye and it's like this is just the thinky, I don't feel anything, I'm just thinking stuff eye. And then you just switch to this eye. Yeah. And it's very, very emotionally sincere and wrought.
Huh. I don't care for either of it. When I first started dating Sarah, she had her friend come out and she was like, Does he look in people's eyes? And her friend was like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it seems like he does. But I just feel like I'm always like kind of like averting my gaze.
Are you one of these people? I think of you as someone who looks in my eyes most of the time.
Really?
Except maybe when you don't sometimes.
Okay.
But you don't stand out as someone who doesn't look in some people's eyes. Wait,
okay.
So this friend of Sarah's was like, is he dodgy?
No, well, Sarah brought her friend in because she wasn't sure if I was an eye looker.
Sarah wasn't sure.
Sarah was not sure if I was an eye looker.
And she brought the friend in to be like, is he going to look in her eyes and make sure, like, she wanted to make sure you were looking her in the eye?
I think I did spend a little bit of a time, yeah. My friend John Zengraff in high school, he was like, he had a very, like, averted gaze, and I thought it was so cool. He was just always like, yeah.
It's a status thing.
What are we doing?
High status.
What are we doing here?
Oh, I'm pretty impressed with him too. Actually, as you imitate him, I'm like, that's a kind of awesome guy.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was so funny, and he was just always like kind of looking down and like just like. We had this other friend, Ryan Boucher, who one day at lunch he got 2 milks, and Ryan Boucher said, 2 milks, and so John Zengraff would always say, 2 milks, apropos of nothing. And just the way he said it was like so cool. 2 milks.
How do some people by high school cultivate that?
I don't know, man, but he disappeared and no one knows what happened to him.
Wow.
That's it. Dad jeans.
This has been the John Zengraff.
Yes. If you know where John Zengraff is, please
call 288-7956.
No, it's 323-484
4383.
4383. That's the Dad Jeans hotline.
4383.
No one has called us in 2 years.
Do we pay for that?
You can be the first.
Okay.
Good
night.
Good night.